So after my most recent video, you guys are probably asking yourselves, why on earth would he downgrade to a smaller monitor with less features? Well, that's because we're still upgrading. This is the Philips Evnia 8000 series. This is a 49-inch ultra-wide screen monitor. You can see right here in the corner maybe, this is a QD-OLED display with HDR, DCP-3 99%, Clear MR 13000, NVIDIA G-Sync, AMD FreeSync Premiere Pro, 240 Hz with a 0.03 millisecond response, as well as USB-C connection. This thing is a beast and has all the bells and whistles. Let's start the unboxing. If you read carefully, it says you actually turn it upside down to the bottom side here, and it says right there, open here. So we're gonna open here. This thing is so big. We got all of the ads and things in here. On top we have here our factory calibration report. We have 2 display cables. This is the new updated style of printer cable. It's USB to this other type. We have a remote because it works as a TV too with batteries. Batteries are included. What else do we got up here? We got more cables. We got our power cable. We got our USB-C cable. Good grief, we got all of the accessories with this thing. What else do we got here? Oh, this just looks like a metal plate. Let's pull out anything loose, and then the instructions here say to pull the whole unit out as one. There are these clear straps. I don't know if you can see, and you can get a glimpse of them there. So I'm going to pull out all the extras and loose items here first. Set them aside for a second. Then we're going to grab this strap here, and there we go. Now we're good to cut our straps. We got our legs here, a big wide V for this ultra-wide monitor. This looks like it might be a completely tool-free install, aside from, oh, maybe not, but the tool that you may need is provided. Look at that. It's actually a pretty decent looking Phillips screwdriver. Way to go, Phillips. So we got our feet, and it has a kind of a stone paint job on it. Can you see those flecks there? Yeah, you can kind of make those out. And then on the bottom here, it is a retained screw, so somewhere in here it's locked in place so it can't come out. And then it's just a thumb screw so you can screw it in. It's even got a lock washer on there so this doesn't come loose. That's nice. And then on this side, wow, that is heavy. This thing is built sturdy. This is our arm for the monitor itself. Metal frame. This guy is no joke. Look at that. We got a hinge here that it's pretty stiff when you're grabbing it here, but if you're grabbing the edge of a 49-inch monitor, that's a big lever that this guy's connecting to. We got some cable management slots here. It's pretty nice. It says to start by assembling the base here, so this guy, we're going to put the notches or this cable management section to the rear, away from the inside of the V. And then on the bottom here, we can just screw it in. If you got dainty hands, they got you a screwdriver here. You can really lock that in. Okay. That's the first part of our stand. Next is our back plate, is what it looks. This actually seems to be. Oh, you know what? I'm willing to bet this is our mounting plate if we want to mount it on an arm. Hint, hint, wink, wink. So if it's going to be on a monitor arm aside from this stand itself, this here plate, it looks like, is what we're going to use. So we're going to go ahead and set these guys aside. Pull the foam off of this guy. Oh, buddy. I'm excited. There is our monitor. You can see here we have our post that matches. It's the male end that matches our female end here. It's also keyed, so here on this female end you can see there's a notch here, and then here on the male end you can see there's a notch here. And so it's gonna go like this, just like that. And then there are 2 holes for screws on the bottom. And then inside this bag of screws, there are 4 black ones and 2 silver ones. The silver screws are what we want to use on your mount here. If you're going to be mounting this on something else, this is our mounting plate here. And you can see again, we have that same male end and 2 holes for those silver screws. Those silver screws will go in here and lock everything in, just like that. Grab our included Philips screwdriver here. And these will go all the way in flush and lock in. They're not tightening against something, they're literally like locking, screwing in. So this should work perfect. Oh, buddy, that is pretty. I didn't even think about it. I just kind of touched it because it was leaning back, but it is also an adjustable tilt here. Holy cow, this is awesome. I have the power. Oh my gosh. Before we plug it in, I want to try and show off some of the features on this guy. All right, so the first thing you notice looking at the back of this guy is all of these little dots here. This has built-in lights. These are all individual LED lights all the way across. And then right here is our power button. It sticks up just a little proud, but it does not go in, it just clicks. All right, now we're down lower. Over on the left side from the back, the right side if you're looking at the front, this is our power cable input. It is just a standard input there. And then over on this side is all of our connection options. This guy has all of the connections here. Let's go ahead and get this guy hooked up. So we have a few wiring options. We got USB-C, we got display cable, and we have an HDMI cable. So let's go ahead and plug in our display cable, because those ones can run, especially this one, it even says it on the package, 8K. Ooh, buddy. Let's go ahead and open the reason why I am so excited for this. Oh man, I'm excited. Oh, it's so good. Hold on, we gotta back up so you can take this in. Look at that. I can fit the entire timeline on here. Like, this is awesome. And then if I need to like zoom in on something, you can like really break it down. Heck, I could probably even do something like put the video up here so it'll take up that whole display and then have all of my timeline down here. This is gonna be awesome. But I know you guys are probably thinking, hey, Grant, you already mentioned it once, but you still can't see that screen back there, and you're right. I have a plan. I also am going to show you how to mount this guy up. I'm going to show you how to install this using the mounting bracket on something like an arm, like that monitor is, and then do a final review. If you plan on mounting your monitor on an arm like this over here, you'll want to actually take the mounting plate from your monitor mount and then grab your monitor, the mount that comes with the monitor, and we're gonna screw these two together just like this. So this side doesn't have threads, so that means our screws are gonna go that way. these guys are now ready. This is ready to go directly on here like that. And this is now ready to go on here. So next we're gonna go ahead and remove the 2 screws from the bottom of here. So you got a couple ways you can do this. You can just place the monitor arm right there, the mount for the monitor right there, and then mount this up and then just mount your monitor on. Or you can take your monitor off, put this on your monitor, and then transfer it. It's up to you. You can do it however you'd like. I think I'm gonna go for option number 1. So I'm gonna go ahead and make sure that this is mounted up to our monitor mount here so I can just slide the monitor directly on. So one thing I'm learning as I'm going is putting in these thumb screws, get one started and then get the other one started. Otherwise, it'll be a little difficult to get these lined up just right. All right, we're ready to transition to the new monitor location. Clear our work area, make sure it's gonna be as easy as possible for me to get in here. There we go. And we're on. Oh man, this monitor is too heavy, so we're gonna have to tighten the Allen screw on this before we can get it mounted, dang it. As soon as I move it, it's like down all the way. Grief. So that needs to be tighter right here. I gotta say, oh, I was thinking these bumpers here were support. They're not. They are stoppers for angling up and down of the screen itself. And the next thing I did is to maximize the amount of space on my desk. I want this screen to be as far back as possible. So I actually took this mount and turned it almost sideways until this section here started to hit my post. And now I'm gonna go ahead and tighten it down where it is. And then before I tighten this one, I'm gonna go on the front side and make sure that it's where I want it to be. And then we'll go from there. All right, I've had this guy for about 6 months now, and I've had a chance to test it out using it for the thing I use it the most, which is video editing. You can see my layout here. I got my preview screen up on the top, and then I got my timeline all the way across. I've even started editing a podcast, and oh my gosh, is it so handy. Being able to have so much of the timeline in that space, you can get work. I get so much work done quicker video editing. However, this is definitely geared for things like gaming as well, especially with that curved monitor. You get that wider field of view, you're able to see more things on the display, and that can also give you a competitive advantage playing video games. Yes, however, I am not the best gamer. I even gave it a try. I tried for a couple of days to do some video gaming, and I tell you what, I'm not that good anymore. I used to be decent, not great, decent. I'm not good anymore. And 2, I couldn't tell a difference from like the 60 hertz to the 240 hertz that they advertise. And I also, in the process, I learned that this can do so much more than I anticipated. I will probably not use all or most of what it can do. So one of the cool things I learned is that also may be very important to you is if you want to utilize that 240 hertz, you do have to use their high-speed HDMI. That one is the one that can run the 240 hertz, whereas the display cable can run it, but it's not going to run, it can run the display, but it can't run the full 240 hertz. Also, it can run multiple devices. So if you have a laptop and a desktop computer, you can hook up both of them here. And then there's a setting in the menus where you can turn on to have each computer displayed separately on this one screen. That's a pretty cool feature that I've heard about, never tested out, and unfortunately, I don't have anything here to test it on, or any use case scenario specifically for myself to really put it to the test. But it's a solid monitor. My biggest complaints though are that it has this like screen refresh to where if you leave the screen on for so long, it'll actually turn itself off to do a screen pixel refresh so that you don't get burn-in, and it keeps the pixel life and quality up, which kind of sucks. And so what I found is if I'm stepping away from my computer for more than 15 minutes, I'll actually just turn the monitor itself off. Leave the computer on, just turn off the monitor. That way it won't do that screen refresh. I believe it's after either 8 or 16 hours. I can't remember which one, but of like so much screen on time, it will turn off the screen and you cannot turn it back on. Like it'll turn on for a second and then it'll go back into the screen refresh mode or pixel refresh mode that they talk about. But let's go ahead and go through. I have a checklist here of pros and cons. So let's go through the pros. Colors, 99% color quality, or color accuracy. So like it is perfect color accuracy. Totally blows me away. I was expecting this guy to be better for colors and whatnot, but I end up doing a lot of stuff colors here. I do general work and stuff like that up here. This is still a great monitor. It's 93%, which honestly, 99 to 93 is almost negligible, but they still claim that extra 6%, so 99%. Also mentioned, it's got the 240 hertz. OLED panel gives us pure blacks, so when you see something black on the screen, that pixel is literally turned off, giving you a pure black. I really like the and that's probably one of the reasons they can attain that 99% color accuracy, is because the blacks are able to be a pure black. Really cool feature you can only get with OLED displays. One of my notes is, it's huge and it's awesome. Yeah, it is a massive monitor, 49 inches diagonal. It's a lighter curve than most curved monitors. That's something I actually looked for, because most curved monitors, if they're curved too much, you have to bring them in closer, and then you find yourself turning your head left and right more to be able to see all of the detail on the screen. So I chose one that has a lighter curve so that I can push it further away and also see more detail without having to turn my head as far. I have noticed that I still have to turn my head sometimes, but that's not the end of the world. I actually appreciate being able to just turn my head rather than having to like scroll on a timeline or something like that. Or zoom out so that I have to have more detail, but it's smaller so it's not going to be as detailed. Does that make sense? I already mentioned it. If it's a whole video timeline, it's also very immersive for gaming. I can tell you that when I get into the zone, when I am playing, even though I'm not good at it, it is absolutely immersive. It's not going to be possibly not as immersive as the more curved monitors, but it's fantastic. I also mentioned the dual device support, so you can have a phone, a laptop, another desktop, all connected to this one display, sharing this one display at the same time. It'll just split it down the center, left and right. Also, I had mentioned in the beginning, it comes with this the like new USB printer style cable. It's called a USB up cable. And what that is if you have a desktop that's located more remotely than like right next to it, you can actually mount it, say, underneath your desk. You don't have to worry about wires from like a mouse or a keyboard. Granted, these are wireless, but you don't have to worry about the wiring from these devices having to reach all the way down there, because you can run one USB cable to your monitor, then that enables your USB ports on the back of your monitor to be able to be used on a mouse, keyboard, flash drives, or even a little dock for SD cards and whatever else. That is a pretty neat and unique feature that this monitor offers. But you do have to use the USB up cable, which looks kind of like a printer cable, but a little more boxy. All right, we're done with all of our pros. Let's move on to the cons. The first con is, we've kind of halfway mentioned, is burn-in. So something you do have to be concerned about, aware of, is that it does have the potential for burn-in, where a display like this isn't as likely, a VA or a IPS display isn't as likely to get a image burned in if you have, like, say, the same background, or your Windows bar that is always the same, always there. It can burn in. That is much more likely possible, and it happens more easily with an OLED display like this one. I've seen the same thing on my cell phone, which is also an OLED display. Most cell phones these days are. And that's exactly what's happening, is that burn in of the same pixels on the screen for a long period of time. This can burn those in. It does have some countermeasures in place, like it does have a pixel shift, so every, I think it's 4 minutes you can change it. It actually will shift the pixels by 2 pixels to try and prevent burn-in, but sometimes that's inevitable still. And then other times when there is a image that is static on the screen, say like our start bar here that's not doing anything, it'll actually dim the light on that start bar alone. Just this whole lower section, it will dim to accommodate, to prevent burn-in, but it's still something that is a serious concern and is why they have that pixel refresh setting that it turns the screen off entirely. The manual also does say, I believe, if you power cycle it every 4 hours, that also can help prevent having to do a full shutdown pixel refresh on your screen. I have this in the cons, but I don't think it's necessarily a con, aside from the fact that the power cable on this is kind of short. It's a little less than 5 feet, which does limit your length, but one nice thing about it is that it's just a cord. There's not a power brick on it. Many things, like displays like this one especially, has like a power brick that plugs into the wall, or even my previous display had that power brick in the middle of the power cable that you had to find a home for, this like giant brick that's just sitting there. A lot of times that ends up on the floor, you get trip over it, then you're unplugging the screen on accident, things like that. This is just one single power cable because the power inverter or adapter or whatever is actually built into the display. So that's actually a really nice feature, but the short cable is kind of a downside. My last con that I have here is that it makes other screens look bad. So aside from my cell phone that is an OLED display as well, when I bring my laptop in from work and have it set up next to my screen here, I realize how basic my laptop for work is versus this here. While this 4K display does look good, there's still differences I can see between the two. It's hard to describe without being there in person. A VA display versus a OLED display, 4K versus 1440, which I think is 2K. It is quite a difference, but it is 2K times 2 width, so it is still taking the same amount of data. That's why it can't be 4K, is because that same amount of data is streaming through for this guy. Overall though, honestly, I wish I had 2. This display is nice, and I probably won't be getting rid of it because it serves all of the purposes I need. I don't need a second one up here going like this. And I also still have that same monitor arm that was not as tall as I was hoping. So this is also much lower. I was hoping that my display could be somewhere around here at the bottom and go up from there. But at the same time, this is working. It meets my needs, and I get to put this cool little decorative thing that I printed with my 3D printer in there, and I don't know, I think it looks cool. I just wish it was taller. I purchased this display with my own money. However, I am an Amazon affiliate, so I'll have Amazon affiliate links down in the description of this video, so you can go and purchase this for yourself using those links to help support this channel with no additional cost to you. So keep that in mind when you're looking and shopping. You can always click the link and then do your shopping from there to help support this channel. If you have any questions about this display or even that one, leave those questions in the comments below. I try to reply to all the comments on my videos. Thank you so much for watching. Please consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys in the next one.